In March 2022, the Education Ministry issued guidelines to prevent fires in schools following a series of disasters in various institutions in various parts of the country. The most recent disaster was at Salaama School for the Blind in Mukono district, where 11 pupils lost their lives and several sustained grave injuries. The guidelines include obtaining an occupation permit for buildings, installation of fire extinguishers, as well as the construction of a perimeter wall fence. They also require the removal of burglar-proof barriers from dormitory windows. However, very few schools, especially those in urban areas, have implemented these guidelines.
Fires take people suddenly, and when they take people suddenly, that is when we wake up to cross-check what we need to do. But when the situation is calm, chances are very high we may ignore. But otherwise, at Chitante Hill School, we have the fire extinguishers, and we do the drills.
Despite the call by government to implement these guidelines by schools to ensure the safety of learners, there has been laxity on the part of school inspectors.
When the circular is issued, we would look at it in all fairness that the inspectors on ground, in local governments, the inspectors go to these schools. Even the secondary schools have got the Directorate of Education standards. They would be going to implement. The question now we need to ask ourselves is, why is it that circulars go and they are not implemented?
These things need constant monitoring, constant supervision. Once you don't do this, some people don't mind.
Whereas some of the urban schools have been able to implement some of the guidelines, schools, especially in the rural areas, have challenges to meet the required guidelines.
This is a good venture to go, good advice from our ministry, our mother ministry, but the aspect of funding vis-a-vis the challenges at hand may take us back.
Baguma argues that government should take the lead to ensure that all government-aided schools meet these requirements.
We would also like to see government being innovative and, for example, importing or coming up with smoke detectors which are tax-free, so that the schools are not constrained to buy them.
The installation of CCTV cameras has greatly improved security, surveillance and discipline among learners due to increased controls.
So this helps us to monitor and supervise not only the safety but also the actual teaching and learning of our learners.
They have totally reduced, theft of property, loss of property. The cameras have put a bit of law and order in the school.
Aaron Mukama, NTV Weekend Edition.